Viva Las Vegas, baby.
The Big Ten's college football season kicks off in the entertainment capital of the world.
Our men's and women's basketball tournaments here in the next couple of years, so it made sense. You know, we are a conference that goes coast to coast, so having some presence closer to our West Coast members is not a bad thing.
One of those West Coast members enjoys the glitz and the glamour that comes with the Big Ten championship. The Oregon Ducks make a big splash in their inaugural season in the conference.
Been super fulfilling, you know, getting the opportunity to win the Big Ten in our first year, play some unbelievable teams has created a really special experience.
After Oregon runs through the regular season and conference undefeated, Ohio State actually carries the Big Ten banner to a national championship. The Buckeyes finished fourth in the standings and shows the immense depth of the Big Ten with their title run.
It goes to show you every week's a battle. There's no easy wins. I think there's just so many good teams in the Big Ten, and yeah, it's a tough conference for sure.
Both the Ducks and Buckeyes are strong contenders again this season, but it's the Nittany Lions of Penn State that earned the preseason favorite vote from the Big Ten media. In order to reach their potential, PSU has to silence the critics who point out their lackluster record in big games.
If we want the narrative to change, we got an opportunity to change it. We want people to shut up. We can shut them up real easy. So we embrace it all.
The Conference Media Days kick off in Vegas with games set to kick off soon all across the country. This is Big Ten football coast to coast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our college football special, Big Ten football coast to coast. I'm your host, Todd Sadowski. Recent expansion now stretches this premier conference to 18 teams from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Another thrilling season is on tap, and we're here to give you a detailed look of how the programs stack up before they officially kick off the 2025 season. The first event of the year is the Conference Media Days, and for the first time, the three-day get-together takes place in Las Vegas, a city well known for its top-notch entertainment options. The conference sets up at Mandalay Bay with 6 teams available to answer questions from the media on each of the 3 days. The head coaches bring 3 and sometimes 4 of their players with them to Vegas. The coaches start off each session with 15 minutes at the podium. Then the players and coaches split up into breakout sessions for more questions and answers. Just about every Big Ten team has more questions than answers to begin a football season, even though they are now paid athletes. And let's not forget, these guys are college kids. Most of them at Media Days are around 21 years old. And when you bring them together in Las Vegas, they're going to have some fun. And before we dive into more of the football details, here's a few of the guys showcasing their personality in front of the cameras.
What can I tell you about Drew Allard? Okay, Drew Allard's a Louis Vuitton guy. Okay, ask him about it. Drew Allard, that's his designer brand of choice. Drew Allard recently ventured into cooking. This has kind of been a new thing for him. He's been trying all these exquisite cooking, recipes and such like that. Drew Allard's a TikTok guy. He likes to go on TikTok a lot. Simplistic in the dress, like in dressing categories, you can see over there, he has a nice little gray suit, double-breast suit with just like a nice blue. You know, he's a subtle guy, but when you get to really get to know him, he's complex.
Think of it, he's 6'6", he's 295 pounds, and he can snowboard really well. I'm not sure how many snowboarders are 300 pounds coming down the mountain, but that's a pretty big force coming down, and he loves it. But he also thrifts. And this guy's always looking for a deal and a bargain. I mean, I said up there, he can put the best $3.65 suit together better than anybody.
It comes from being like a younger kid and this, being a younger student athlete, you just don't get paid as much. So like just going around, walking around with like my teammates and just finding stores of like what I like. And if it's $5, it's a $5 pair of jean shorts. Who's going to pass up on that?
Yeah, not many people will pass up on that. Fun to see the guys enjoying their time in the spotlight. The college years fly by. It's a big honor to represent their teams at the Conference Media Days. When it comes to expectations on the field, here's the list of players that make the preseason honors list in the Big Ten. Only 15 are recognized, coming from only 7 of the conference's 18 teams. 2 each from Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. Luke Altmaier is one of only 2 quarterbacks, so the media feels he could be one of the top guns in the Big Ten. Minnesota's Coy Parrish is a fascinating player. The Golden Gophers vow to use him in a variety of ways: defense, offense, and special teams. A pair of Ducks are on the list, and the Buckeyes roster is always littered with premier talent. Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Smith, Sonny Styles continue the tradition. Final screen includes a trio from the preseason favorites, Penn State. All three of these guys could have entered the NFL draft. Drew Aller, Denai Dennis Sutton, and Nick Singleton all returned to Happy Valley seeking a national title. As far as teams go, can't make a better first impression in the Big Ten Conference than Oregon's debut season. The Ducks swim through the regular season unbeaten and then cap it off with an impressive championship performance at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis against Penn State for the Big Ten title. Head coach Dan Lanning leads the program's seamless transition into the Big Ten with a high-powered offense that is hard to slow down in any time zone. They move at full speed with a style that travels well no matter where they are going. Perfect at home, of course, also perfect on the road, including wins at the Big House in Michigan and a close one at Camp Randall in Wisconsin.
The theme for this team is double down, right? We have done an unbelievable job of building this team over time. You look at our success season to season, and as this team has grown, the process works. You know, we're close, and we've been able to accomplish a lot. We got great buy-in from our players. It is a cast of new characters. You're going to see new people on the field, which is exciting. When you see our team play, you're going to see a team that plays with toughness. You know, I know a year ago we got asked the question, are we tough enough to be in the Big Ten? I think that we were able to answer those questions on the field last year.
Well, the Ducks start the year ranked 7th in the country. They have road games at Penn State in the whiteout, also at Iowa and Washington to close out the regular season. Nothing but warm greetings now for Ohio State head coach Ryan Day and the Buckeyes after their national championship season. They lost their regular season meeting with Oregon, but exact revenge in the national quarterfinals on their way to the title. With the glow of a championship finish around them, it's easy to forget the dark moments after their loss to Michigan. Ohio State actually finished 4th in the Big Ten standings. It is a testament to their program, of course, and also to the depth of the conference that they rebound and regroup to roll through Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame to win the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Big Ten is the best. It's the best conference in football. You got teams top to bottom. Every week's a battle. There's no easy wins. Like, I remember we played off the bye week playing Nebraska. I think they had just got blown out by Indiana. And we're in a dogfight with them all the way down to the end. So it just goes to show you every week's a battle. There's no easy wins. I think there's just so many good teams in the Big Ten, and yeah, it's a tough conference for sure.
Now, the Buckeyes begin the year ranked 3rd in the country. Tough road schedule with games at Washington, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. They host the top 2 preseason teams, Texas and Penn State. Now, both titles are vacated by Oregon and Ohio State. They're up for grabs, with Penn State voted by the conference media as the preseason favorite, much like Michigan in 2023 and Ohio State in 2024. A lot of the Nittany Lions veterans could not stand the bitter taste of defeat and are back to complete some unfinished business. Here's a look at the rest of the contenders as predicted by the Big Ten media. It is certainly one of the most electric environments in college sports, the whiteout at Penn State. The Nittany Lions become the first program ever to win a Division I home playoff game when they handle SMU in the first round of the college football playoffs. It is the semifinal setback to Notre Dame that leaves an awful taste and a burning desire to erase a championship run that falls short.
There was a lot of things I wanted to accomplish individually and improve on, and then also, more importantly, the team stuff. There's a lot of things that, you know, we came close to last year, but didn't get the job done. So having one more go at that and just doing everything that I can to prepare myself for those moments and not taking any of these moments for granted, because I only have 6-7 months left until I'm out of eligibility. So not taking a day for granted and just really enjoying all these last moments with coaches and teammates.
The question that comes up again and again to James Franklin: can the Nittany Lions reverse their fortunes in games with the best opponents? PSU is just 4-20 against top 10 teams during his tenure. Coach's answer again and again: there's only one way to silence the doubters, and that's to get the job done on the field.
There is complete recognition and embracing what we got to do and where we got to go. And the best part about it, your question and your question and your question, is we're in total control of it, right? If we want the narrative to change, we got an opportunity to change it. We want people to shut up. We can shut them up real easy. So we embrace it all.
The Nittany Lions host Oregon in the whiteout, travel to Columbus the first weekend of November, and host Indiana the week after they take on the Buckeyes. Take it from the Sphere in Vegas. All eyes are on the team in Happy Valley. Number 4 is Illinois. Their head coach, Brett Bielema, likes to wear red, and he has a long history of success in the Big Ten with 3 straight titles at Wisconsin. Now he's in charge of the Fighting Illini, and they are on the rise under Bielema the past few years. Stingy defense, opportunistic offense, limit mistakes. It's a winning formula that causes headaches. Their QB, Luke Altmaier, had a lot of suitors in the offseason. He says it was an easy call to stay in Champaign.
I had no reason to leave. Got a lot of good things going on here individually and as a team. I can do everything that I want for my entire life, my future, moving forward, hopefully the National Football League right here. The way the team's set up for this year, I mean, we're set up for a good season, a special season that hadn't been done here, hopefully ever. That's what we're shooting for.
Number 5 is Michigan. The Wolverines ready to step back into the spotlight after a disappointing year defending their national crown. Always dangerous, Michigan adds some attitude to their hard-nosed style as they try to climb back into the conference championship picture. They do still hold bragging rights on their rivals, the Buckeyes.
I congratulate them on a win, but you know it's not no real win if y'all ain't beat us. So, but I'm gonna congratulate them on their win. But this year it's gonna be different.
This year the big game is in the big house. And at number 6, coming off double-digit wins and a playoff berth, the Indiana Hoosiers and their tough-talking head coach, Curt Cignetti. He believes in himself. He believes in his team. For good reason. The Hoosiers are fundamentally sound and prepared to play anyone. I asked what the players think about their confident leader.
He's really always the same guy. It doesn't matter if he's on TV. It doesn't matter if we're in the facility. He's the same person all the time. I think that's something that, we respect as players, but the confidence that he carries rubs off on his players. And, we're all just so, fired up to play for him because he's going to go out and he's going to make a statement and we're going to back it up for him.
I mean, they know what the goals are. They all know why they're here. And they know what will be accepted, expected, tolerated, and not tolerated if they want to be on this team.
We're going to step aside for a moment. Up next is a one-on-one interview with Yogi Roth of the Big Ten Network. We discuss year 2 for the former Pac-12 teams in the conference and why the talent level continues to elevate all across the conference. You're watching Big Ten football coast to coast. He is a former college football player and now a modern-day Renaissance man as a broadcaster, author, filmmaker, and family man. I always appreciate the chance to talk to the Big Ten Network's Yogi Roth about a variety of subjects, most notably Big Ten football. Prior to conference expansion, he was one of the top personalities on the Pac-12 network. Here's our conversation in Vegas as Yogi heads into his second year with BTN. It's year 2 for you with the Big Ten Network coming from the Pac-12 network. So what did you learn as a commentator and about the league, Yogi, that maybe you didn't know before?
Growing up around it, you knew the traditions were so strong. I think as a broadcaster, going to the venues was one of the most probably memorable parts of last season. Dropping into Indiana, going to Penn State for training camp, going to Ohio State for their spring game, like seeing these iconic places as a professional. It's one thing to watch them in Scranton, Pennsylvania as a kid and dream of playing there, but sitting up in the booth as your craft, it was incredible. In addition, I think the communities, I love like going to a coffee shop, going to a yoga class, like just meeting people around and the connectivity they have in every one of these these communities, the fiber is just connected in a really powerful way. And then I'll go to the coaches and the players. Like when I called Nebraska a couple games there last year, I dropped into Indiana when they played Washington, game day is there. The staffs are just like everybody else. Like they want to share their stories, they want to illuminate their team, they want to elevate their storylines, and that's kind of our job. I always think it's my job to celebrate the game and coach the viewers. So they made it really fun. I think now in year 2, for me, it feels like I've been in the league for a long time. So that's been fun. Like 18 teams is a lot. You digest it, you compete your butt off all year to learn it, and now I feel like it's kind of in my bones in terms of the league and the schemes and the players. That's really fun heading into year 2.
How about the football side? Because I remember discussing it last year about the wind. A lot of the coaches brought up going on the road and what that's going to be like. What did you learn football-wise watching the games in some of these venues that maybe you didn't think about before or maybe had more of an effect that you thought it would?
I think my partner and I, Guy Haberman, calling games, I think we had 7 games last year where each team had 1 possession in the first quarter. And I'm just not accustomed to that. I mean, I'm accustomed to 3 or 4 in the first quarter. So I think just the style of play was something where I said, whoa, this is interesting. And it's not just like ground and pound. Like the diversity and scheme is still there, but the huddling, the eating up the play clock, like those types of things are totally different. And I thought the quarterback play had room to improve. And that's what I think is so exciting about this year. I think finally, in my opinion at least, this is the most talented quarterback room, I'd argue, in the history of the league, top to bottom. You go to Preston Stone at Northwestern. You can go to Billy Edwards at Wisconsin. Of course, Drew Aller. I think Dante Moore at Oregon is going to be an absolute star. And everybody in between, some of the new faces, the transfers like Fernando Mendoza going to Indiana. I just think this league has that. And if you look at last year, there's 31 games in conference play of the 81 that were decided by a score less. And I always go down to like, okay, what is the difference there? It's often the quarterback play and the discernment, shoulders and above for whoever is playing that position. And last year I thought half the league was okay. A lot of room to grow. I think this year it is there. So now we're going to have a lot of games like the NFL where it's matchups. Late in the game, who needs to get open? How do you scheme guys up? Who can go make a play? Like I love that part of heading into this season.
Thanks to Yogi for a few minutes of his time. Great insight as always. Now, earlier we showed you the teams that the conference media labels as the contenders. Now it's time to feature the middle of the pack. Would not surprise anyone if a few ended up having a very solid season. Also wouldn't be a shock if a few fall to the bottom portion of the standings. Here's a look at the preseason teams from 7 through 12. Coming in at the top of this list is Iowa at number 7. The Hawkeyes possess one of the best home field advantages in the conference, and they'll need to play well at Kinnick Stadium this year. They host 3 teams ranked in the preseason: Indiana, Penn State, and Oregon. Iowa also travels to USC. Kirk Ferentz took over the program in 1999. He has only 2 losing seasons since 2001, with double-digit wins 8 times. He knows how to win football games, so this is a team that could be in the championship mix when they reach late November. One notch below at number 8 is Nebraska. Easy to see why the Cornhuskers would be grouped in the middle somewhere. It's hard to know what you're going to see from Nebraska week to week, let alone an entire season. Coach Matt Rule enters year 2 with dynamic quarterback Dylan Raiola. They had their first winning campaign since 2016 and are close to breaking through if they can figure out how to finish off the close games.
That's kind of been the thing in Nebraska is we get in close games and we just somehow can't finish it, right? And the narrative is going to have to change. It's going to have to change this year. And our guys are confident that we have the right players and the right pieces to go make those plays and want the ball in their hands.
The Huskers appear to have a very manageable schedule with only one matchup against a preseason ranked opponent. They'll be at Penn State in late November. At 9 is USC. Startling to see a traditional power projected to end up behind 8 other teams in the Big Ten. Results matter, though. Lincoln Riley and the Trojans have produced mediocre results. That's unacceptable in Southern California and unlikely to continue. There's plenty of talent on the roster to piece it together. Right behind SC at 10 is another West Coast program, Washington. The Huskies head coach Jed Fish was hamstrung as a late hire last year. He's had a full year to get organized and complete a roster overhaul. Remember, this is a team that played for the national title a mere 2 years ago.
As I look at the team that we have currently, I'm so proud of the guys that are here. We lost one starter in the transfer portal and replaced him with a starter from a team that I coached prior. The rest of our team either has moved on through graduation or are back.
Washington has Illinois, Oregon, and Ohio State on the schedule, but all three of them are in front of the home crowd. Minnesota's fresh off an 8-win season and may feel slighted with an 11th place slot. PJ Fleck and company can look very impressive at times. He's stabilized the Golden Gophers program. The goal now is to elevate it from the middle of the road to the Big Ten's fast lane.
The retention's critical, and I think everybody has their own philosophies on retention. I mean, ours is our culture and our program, our life skills, the life program we create. And I said that earlier. I mean, these are still student athletes. One thing I've had to learn, though, is that transactions can be and are and need to be part of the transformational program.
Next is Wisconsin. The Badgers compete hard and play some tough defense. Scoring points has been an issue, and Luke Fickell's squad has a daunting schedule that takes them to Alabama, Michigan, Indiana, and Oregon. They also welcome Ohio State to Camp Randall. Quick break coming up. Still have a look at the rest of the conference, and it's the first media days held in Vegas. Why the entertainment capital of the world is becoming a major player in college sports. This is Big Ten football, coast to coast. Travel to the Big Ten Conference Football Media Days was certainly a lot easier this year on the new West Coast schools. Las Vegas is fast becoming a major player in the college sports world. The 2027 National Championship game takes place in Vegas, and the conference will conduct a future men's and women's basketball tournament there. I caught up with Brian Yost, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, about the relationship that is growing between the city and the Big Ten.
This has been in the works for a while. We have bid on and successfully gotten 2 of their championship basketball games, women in 27, men in 28. We're excited about that. We're excited to forge this relationship now that the Big Ten Conference realignment has taken place and you've picked up some Western schools. It's nice to have you in our backyard.
Relationship had already started with the Pac-12, and so you had some familiarity with those 4 teams in the West Coast.
We have been the home of the Pac-12 football championship for years. We've hosted Mountain West. College sports has been a big part of what we do here, and you're absolutely right. Those former Pac-12 schools are delighted to have the Big Ten here in essentially their backyard.
Yeah, a major player in college football. I assume that's something that you guys want to expand that role as you talk about, that marquee sport.
We are delighted to be the host city for the 2027 National Championship game. We have had our share of great college football here between the Las Vegas Bowl, which is one of the oldest bowl games in the bowl series, but as well as season kickoff games and conference championships through the years. So continuing to build on that with the pinnacle of the sport is just tremendous for us.
Expansion increased the conference to a massive 18 teams, which means somebody has to finish in the bottom third. There are a handful of teams that will struggle through the regular season. Here's a look at the programs trying to beat the expectations. Something strange and rare right away. It's a tie at number 13. The same amount of votes for Michigan State and Rutgers. It feels like both of these teams should be higher. The Spartans have spent time at the top of the conference, but not lately. They've cratered since their Peach Bowl win in 2021 with 3 consecutive losing seasons. As for the Scarlet Knights, Greg Schiano's a solid head coach that will get the best out of his guys. And sometimes their best isn't good enough to hang with the top-tier programs of this conference. They've made 3 bowl appearances in the past 4 years and are looking for more incremental progress in 2025. UCLA shows up at number 15. Deshaun Foster's second year at the helm of his alma mater. The Bruins have some catching up to do with the rest of the league. They have to show more consistency, not only game by game, but possession by possession. 16 brings us to Maryland. Coach Mike Loxley admits he lost his locker room last year over player payments. He's more locked in with his players and hopeful for a winning year. The Terrapins always seem to make things harder for themselves with critical errors in close games. That needs to be cleaned up if they want to rise in the standings this fall. Northwestern's making a huge investment with a brand new stadium coming soon. The Wildcats' win total was cut in half from 8 to 4 last year. Lots of self-evaluation has been taking place to figure out where they went wrong and fix it. And there's nowhere to go but up for the Boilermakers. Purdue was outscored 195-10 in their 4 games against Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana. New head coach Barry Odom will try to build a defense that can give the offense a chance to find a rhythm and earn them their first conference victory since November of 2023. Perhaps some of these teams will far surpass the preseason predictions and qualify for the college football playoff. It remains 12 teams, with the top 4 teams in the country receiving a first-round bye. There are no more automatic seeds for conference champs. The first round of games takes place on the campus of the teams seeded 5 through 8. Now, once the winners emerge, the bowl system gets involved starting in the quarterfinals. And here's a look at the bowl schedule in case you want to keep them in mind for your holiday travel. Cotton Bowl, the first matchup on New Year's Eve, then New Year's Day. It's a Thursday, no competing with the NFL. A triple header is on tap. Orange Bowl at noon, Rose Bowl in its traditional spot, and then the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans to finish off the quarters. The semifinal games involve the Peach and Fiesta Bowls on opposite ends of the country. The Fiesta on the 8th, the Peach on January 9th. Then it's the big one, the National Championship in South Florida. Monday night, January 19th, as the Big Ten Conference tries to make it 3 consecutive champions. The last time that happened was courtesy of the Golden Gophers. Minnesota won 3 straight from 1934 to 1936. And that's our look at Big Ten football coast to coast. I'm Todd Sadowski. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the season, everyone.